you're rewatching X-Files every night. Trust no man. Kate said try women instead. She wasn't out, but she was loud, and now we're saying it proud. That's so Sapphic. She wasn't out, but my heart was in. Rachel with a sword, that was my origin. Ain't it strange how the canon forgot all the tension, all the heat, all the loves we fought? We felt it, we paused it, we yelled it. She saved the world, but wrecked our brains. She raised the dead and sparked our flames. She wasn't loud, but she was loud, and now we're saying it proud. That's so Sapphic.
Welcome everybody to a brand new podcast. This is our first ever episode. Welcome to That's So Sapphic.
I'm Alexi Melvin.
And I'm Jane Postlethwaite. Together we are social media Saphics.
Yes, that is the term we came up with.
We've coined that, copyrighted.
Yeah, it used to be TikTok lesbians, and then we kind of moved over to Instagram, so it's like social media Saphics works.
For anyone who doesn't know what Sapphic covers, can you explain that? Because I had to explain to my dad the other night, but I think you do it beautifully. So
yeah, I think Sapphic is just more of like an umbrella term for women loving women. But I think it can also, so yeah, that goes for bisexual, pansexual, lesbian, asexual, like however you identify, but also I think it can, include non-binary people, trans people. It's just, this sort of like worship of women, but like, let's not maybe include the cis het men,
Yeah, let's not include them.
Yeah.
We did feel the need for a podcast after we've collabed on some videos on social media, and you did my paranormal podcast.
I did.
And this is what the people asked for. They wanted more of us too. So this is what we're giving them.
Yes. And I feel like we sort of just have a very specific brand of, sappically simping over women. And it's like, we kind of like, we recognized it in each other, and here we are.
I don't know even how I got to this point, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I was thinking about how my social media has developed, because I was calling it lesbian TikTok, but we'll call it Sapphic TikTok. I've only really been doing that like a year and a half, which was quite interesting. And then before Christmas, kind of going onto Instagram, where it's just gone nuts.
Yeah.
People want this content.
Yes. Yeah. I've been on TikTok since about 2020, but it took me forever to find what my actual niche was. I mean, it was always, Sapphic for sure, but it wasn't, I don't know, until maybe like 2 years into it that it was like, oh, people are really feeling seen about this and that, whether it be like, sort of Sapphic awakenings that they didn't realize were awakenings in their early baby gay years, or, we post a lot about certain actresses that the Sapphic community, it just goes absolutely feral for. Yeah. But it took a while. And then we sort of met in this space.
We did. I mean, I didn't start TikTok from scratch a year and a half ago. In 2020, I was doing a posh character. I used to do this character, and people used to lip sync her and go viral with my voice.
Oh, I didn't know.
They get like they get thousands of followers and go viral with the joke and the voice that was mine, and never give me any credit. So I got fed up of that. And then for a while I did duets with videos, and then I did 1 minute comedy monologues as different characters, which I'd write, and that was exhausting. So I had like 6 months off, and then I came back. I was like, I think I'm going to go fully lesbian. Let's go for it.
Yeah, that's a choice. I do remember the duets. That was a huge thing for a while. Like,
it was very popular because they were encouraging it. TikTok were encouraging it, weren't they? To try and
yes, yeah, it was fun, but
yeah. So we found each other on TikTok. I was trying to remember at what point I came across your videos. It just seemed like a very organic thing to find, and then we kind of followed each other. And I remember, I was thinking about this the other night. I remember the first ever comment that I did leave you, because you were wearing, I think it was a blue suit to like a premiere, and I was like, oh my god, where's your suit from? And you're like, Armani.
What was that? Was it? Oh, that must have been Hold on.
It's like a blue suit, because I wear suits to do my stand-up. So I was like, that is such a fucking
I think I know what you're talking about, but that was a white suit. It was.
Oh, was it white?
It was white. Yeah, it was the Tonys. last year.
Yeah, maybe it was that. Maybe it was a white suit. I'm just thinking it was like a light blue for some reason.
I did wear like a sort of bluish blazer at one point, I think, but the Armani one was the white one.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, this lady means business. Oh, my suits are from a website called ASOS. AS.
Oh, I have some of
OS.
those. I have some of those like oversized. I have an oversized blazer that I really like from
Yeah. Very, very cheap and reasonable.
Totally.
So yeah, I remember that. And then I just remember kind of, I don't know how it happened. And then we both started kind of doing, I think you get influenced by other people, the trends and everything. But I just can't remember actually following you. It's just, oh, you've kind of always been there.
Yeah. I do remember when you crept up. I can't remember exactly when I guess I could look it up when I followed you, but
can you do that?
Yeah, you can, especially on Instagram. You can see like when you followed each other, and you can see the different likes you've done. But yeah, I remember going like, okay, like we're definitely the same flavor. We're the same flavor of like Sapphic content, and even to the point where like we would start posting the same thing almost within like a day, like a couple hours of each other. And I was like, okay,
yeah,
we've got our finger on the pulse of the same thing.
And for our listeners as well, Alexi is in New York. I am in Cumbria in northwest England. Like we are far apart. Mm-hmm. But I think the algorithms just knew what we wanted to see and was influencing us both in the same way.
Yeah. And then we've talked about this, but people started sending me your stuff. And I was like,
and vice versa.
I know, I'm aware.
Yeah. We're very aware of each other. Yeah. Because they tag you on my videos and then, So, the podcast, we will be looking, as you mentioned, like looking at Sapphic representation through the years on all the different formats.
Yes.
And I think I'm excited about that because I am a later in life lesbian, and I only came out properly probably about 3 years ago, I think. Mm-hmm. And I always thought I was bisexual, had a lot of long relationships with men. Boo. Yep. And then in the pandemic listened to a podcast called Come Out by Mo Welsh. I think it's on Audible. I think it's like a mini book type format. And I finished the last episode and just sat there in silence. And I was like, oh my God, I'm a lesbian. And then I couldn't tell anyone because it was my parents' wedding anniversary that day.
Oh, no.
They were out celebrating, and then I just cried for 2 days. I think I even rang the LGBTQ hotline.
Oh my gosh, that's so pure. That's so sweet.
And they were like, kind of like, how can we help you? And I was like, I think I'm a lesbian. They went, okay.
Okay, well, we will send the gift basket in the next couple of days. That should really be a thing. We should have like a gift basket, like service.
A little card, a little passport.
Yeah.
Gift basket. But it was so funny because I then started telling my friends who I was close with, and it was like Hannah and Alice, Pam and Liz. And then I looked around. I was like, all my close friends are lesbian couples.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah. And a few of them did send me little gifts.
That's cute.
My friend Liz sent me like a rainbow pencil case and some pins. But lesbians love it when other lesbians come out.
Oh, we love it.
Don't you think?
Oh, we love it. And we always know, like we always kind of know. So then when it, inevitably when it happens, we're like, just the the validation, the satisfaction. And like, it's so great. It's so great.
Yeah.
And like it has been an interesting experience just since the pandemic, just this sort of like influx. And especially for me, I came out much earlier. Well, funny enough, I didn't even really come out. Like I was 13. Yeah. I saw Nicole Kidman and Moulin Rouge, as I've spoken about a lot in my content, and I just like knew and just sort of like lived my life as such. I'm like, okay, I am attracted to this woman much more than just like having an idol, or somebody that like she's somebody I look up to in the acting. No, I wanted some stuff to happen between her and myself as my like.
Did you used to scissor your Barbies?
Did I? Oh, yes. I think we all did that. Yes. I also had a my size Barbie. Have you heard of those?
No.
Yeah. I don't know if it was just a thing in the US, but they were like life-size Barbies.
When you say life-size, how big is life-size? I mean, we're tall ladies. I can't have been 6 foot.
Well, I mean, I was, in first, second grade at the time. So I was,
Okay.
so it was like still a little shorter than me. So I don't know, maybe it was like 3.5 feet or something.
Is she okay?
She's okay.
Is life-size Barbie okay?
She's okay. She's okay.
Okay.
I can't say the same for one of my friends who, I don't know, like she had some special time with the life-size Barbie, I think.
Did she?
I didn't, I mean, I had my boundaries, I had my boundaries.
They should rename it My First Girlfriend.
Yes, I did. I will say, yes, I did. Like, I would kind of have these like daydreams of like, like playing house with a with a woman. That would be interesting. So like I started doing that with my friends and like, yeah, just sort of like and I'm such a domestic like lesbian as well. I know I don't seem like it, but it's like, this is so much more fun with a girl, like with a girl in mind, at least, as opposed to like, pretending we're dudes or, I don't know.
I never had the proper Barbies, but my cousins did. I had like the cheap ballerina from the local market, like a knockoff.
Yeah.
But when my friends would get the Barbies out and they'd bring Ken out, it used to make me so angry.
Oh my gosh, I love,
like, why does Ken have to be here?
Why
is Action Man getting in on the action? Like, no.
I love that we're talking about this because I have a home video of me when I was probably 2. I was like 2 years old, and I had these, my parents got me a set of like Ariel and Eric from The Little Mermaid, and I have this home video of me holding both of them going, Ariel and the prince, and trying to go through like, why the prince though? Like, Ariel, great. And the prince. Yeah. We didn't need this. I think I even like put him down and like went and found Cinderella or something. I was like, thanks, I appreciate it, but like, why this? Why does he have to be in on the action? I don't like it. I don't.
Eric is now 6 feet deep in Arizona.
He's somewhere. I don't know. Ariel, I think I kept Ariel. She is definitely, she's like in my mom's storage area somewhere. But Eric, who's to say?
I'm furious as well because I used to, did you have Jet, the doll, the rock star? Gem. She had blonde hair and underneath she had pink hair.
No.
Oh, and she had flashing earrings. Red flashing. So through the day she was just like, is it Gem or Jet?
Is this just a UK thing? Because I do not remember this.
Maybe you didn't have it. There was a cartoon, Gem doll, 80s. Can you see?
Kinda, yeah.
So she had blonde hair.
Oh my God.
And underneath it was bright pink. And this was her, she was a rock star, Gem.
Well,
and her earrings flashed.
That's a bisexual awakening if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, she had like a double life. But my friend, when I was about 18, asked if I had Gem doll. And I said, yeah. And she said, could you borrow it? She never gave it back.
Oh, no.
She's now married with 2 kids. And I've tried to get in touch with her brother and been like, has she still got my Gem doll? Because they're worth a fortune.
Oh, I hate that. Yeah. I did have the Spice Girls Barbies. Those were my favorite.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
I might have been too old.
They were the light of my life for a long time. And that was the first time.
The full set?
The full set, of course. Of course.
I didn't know they existed.
I remember playing with like normal Barbies, but I never had, I don't know, like I didn't really like ship them or whatever so much. But like when I got the Spice Girls Barbies, I was a little older at that point. I was just like, yeah, they're girlfriends. They're dating, they're married.
Yeah. Who was your favorite Spice Girl?
It started out, it was Jerry.
Jerry, my favorite, yeah.
Oh my gosh, the things she did to me. I mean, but then she left, so like I had my loyalty.
She did leave them.
My loyalty had to sort of shift. So then it was Emma.
Right.
Yeah. But whenever I was playing Spice Girls with my friends, I was Sporty Spice, and I wasn't even sporty. I think I just liked the accent. I liked doing the accent, and I liked wearing the sporty gear. Like shocker. I liked her.
Yeah, because outfits. People did think that she could be a lesbian, didn't they? Because she was sporty. There's Mel B, who actually has had relationships with women, isn't it?
Mel B has had relationships with women, and Jerry.
That's Jerry as well.
Did you not hear?
No.
You haven't heard this? Mel B came out on a talk show of some sort. I can't remember which talk show, but she said that she and Jerry had some intimate times.
Oh God, it's coming back to me. Yeah, I remember.
It was a big deal. It's still a big
I'm
deal for
remembering.
me.
Yeah. How did I block that out? This is the thing. I block so much stuff out.
Yeah.
And this is why the podcast is great, because we can deep delve into everything.
Yes. But that was sort of another moment of validation as a, now fully realized lesbian going, I knew it. They definitely had, there's some chemistry between them. I do remember that. And, Spice World, the movie, I was feeling some vibes between those two.
So for you, growing up, kind of being 12, 13 and having these feelings, did you have the word lesbian in your vocabulary? Was there people, I know for me, I heard the word gay at 8 years old, and it was on a popular TV show in the UK called EastEnders. It's like a soap.
I know what it is.
They had a male gay couple, and they had their first male gay kiss was this couple, and it was 1989 or 1988. So I was like 7 or something, around about that age. And I was sat with all my family and my nan and granddad and my auntie and uncles, and I said, "What's gay?" And everyone sniggered and laughed. So that's when my shame came on me. I was like, oh, it's a bad word.
I see.
And then it took to my teenagers before there was a gay kiss on a female lesbian kiss on another soap opera show, which caused uproar. So again, it was like shameful. There, I didn't know it was possible. And gay for me kind of meant 2 men together. I didn't realize that 2 women could be together.
Yeah.
And then I'm unpicking like all these little moments of my childhood where I'm like, oh, that is so gay. And I didn't know.
I mean, it is hard. It's hard being, I want to say maybe like elder, millennial, and prior, because we didn't grow up with any representation of, at least not overtly, like actually having lesbian couples on TV and in films. Like you always kind of had to like claim things that weren't really yours, because it was like, oh, we would look at, I don't know, even just like a really lovely friendship between 2 women and like wanting that to be real, wanting that to be a lesbian relationship. We had to like pick apart things as opposed to being like, oh, well, these are just lesbians being who they are. We didn't have that. Like the first thing I remember, Ellen DeGeneres coming out, that was like a huge deal. That was the first, and also Melissa Etheridge and like Katie Lang. Like I do remember that.
Yeah.
But I was young. And they were mostly like, Ellen was a comedian, and the other 2 were musical artists. Like, you still weren't seeing the representation, in the TV shows I remember like Will and Grace, I remember seeing sort of like, again, gay men being normalized, but lesbians, no. And I think I remember, once Ellen came out and once it kind of started to be a little bit more in the media in that way, I would kind of like ask about it. I would ask my mom like what that meant, or is that even a thing? Like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to like know how I knew that it was okay to identify that way once I was like, oh, Nicole Kidman, It
must have been a really safe space where I didn't feel safe enough to be like, I have those feelings.
Yeah.
It would have been shame. It would have been laughed at. It would have been talked about. It would have been, it was just very shameful. And when, Ellen came out at 39, I was 39 as well.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I think probably around that time I was at a concert, and there were these 2 women who were kind of like all over each other. I remember seeing the reactions around me being not favorable. People were kind of like giving them side eye or not like, yeah. And I kind of felt like, oh, well, I should react this way too. And then I kind of remember like taking a full pause of whatever was happening in the concert and like thinking to myself, but why? Like it was kind of like it was confusing. And then I remember like slowly there were sort of mentions of being, like bisexual characters or exploring feelings about women. Like I've talked about, there's like a couple episodes of Ally McBeal. I was obsessed with Ally McBeal when I was like 12, like 11, 12. Maybe even earlier. Maybe I was like 10.
You just give it access. You'll like me if people didn't listen to the episode we did on my podcast, All the Terrible Things. We talked about being only children.
Yes.
And I think only children are kind of left to do what they want and how they want, and we can watch telly and access to these things.
Oh my gosh.
That other kids didn't.
I had a whole world where I would just like immerse in certain movies or TV shows, or like this has always been my life. So yeah, there was like an episode of Ally McBeal where like Ally and Ling like had sex dreams about each other, and they kissed, and they were kind of like exploring it. And I remember that had an impact. I was like, oh, so you can explore this. Interesting. And then like Catherine Zeta-Jones, I had a huge thing for Catherine Zeta-Jones when I was younger. And she played a bisexual character in The Haunting. And I was like, oh my. So I remember that leaving an impression. So I think these little things here and there, like we really had to grasp, we really had to.
Yeah, I think it was kind of annoying as well. I think with that character and a couple of other characters around about that time is they always made lesbians, especially kind of attractive ones, very predatory. Like there was always like a bit of a negative side to it, like, oh, she's a lesbian, so she's going to come after you. A
bit, yeah. I mean, they definitely painted like that Catherine Zeta-Jones role as she was like just, I don't know, she was almost very kind of like Samantha Jones, like, like very overtly sexual. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Like looking back, it's like, sure. Like she was polyamorous, I think, as well.
She needs a whole episode from us. I'm writing that down.
You know what? She does. She does. We can really dig into that and Catherine Zeta-Jones roles, period. But yeah, it's like they tended to over-sexualize, I think, Sapphic characters back then, when like that wasn't the only model for that, right? Like there's so many flavors of Sapphic, like, but that seemed to be like the only thing I would see for a while. It was either like super butch or overly sexualized femme.
I think being an only child as well, I always thought the attraction to women was because I wanted a sister and I wanted a twin sister.
Okay.
So I read all the Sweet Valley High books, and then there was the TV show as well, Sweet Valley High. And yeah, I just remember always thinking, oh, there's somebody missing in my life. Like there should be someone. And I always thought, so best friends and things at school was very intense for me. Like having that, like feeling amazing when you had a best friend who'd stay over at your house and you'd stay at their house, and you had like, you're writing little notes to each other. And then it came to that age, like 14, 15, when they start getting boyfriends. And I used to just be devastated because it used to be like the end of the best friendship, just gone.
I get that.
Yeah. We'll probably have to talk about that, won't we? Of like the role of best friends and female friendships, how painful it can be, because they could kind of like almost like a role play for your first breakup, like your first female best friend breakup.
Yes, I can see that.
Wretched,
definitly. Funny enough for me, like I was always into older women though. Like even looking back to when I was 5, 6, 7, like I would just watch movies. Like I remember watching Grease with Olivia Newton-John and just worshiping Olivia Newton-John, absolute worship.
Yes.
And I remember like one of my mom's best friends, I would call her my idol, quote unquote. But I had such a crush on her. It was like my mom's bestie. Like I 25 plus years older than me. And I was just like, oh my God, she's magnificent. So it's always been
is she single now?
No.
Damn.
I know. But yeah, it was always older women. Even like I remember going to acting camp, like an acting day camp. I really hope she doesn't listen to this episode. It's okay. And one of my acting day camp teachers, I was like 14. She was maybe 23 at the time. Oh, I was so audacious that I let her know that I had a crush on her.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
I wish I had your confidence.
I like you would not like, I have a weird confidence. Like it's not, I'm definitely like awkward. I can be awkward. I can be a little like quiet. I'm more of an observer, but I'm also like, I know what I want. So if I know what I want, I'm going to say the thing. And so after, of course I waited until the camp was over, please. Like I have boundaries again. But I did. Yeah. I let her know about it.
What was the reaction?
I think it was an email. So I had emailed her and she didn't respond to that one, but we did. We did like hang out. Like I remember like she still follows me on Instagram.
Hey.
Hope it's not awkward, but like, this isn't news to you. Yeah. So that was huge crush.
I think people at my school, because I was kind of obsessed with having a best friend. And when I didn't have a best friend, I felt really weird. I remember this girl had fallen out with her best friend, and I wrote her a note saying maybe we could be best friends. And then the bully girls, like the popular girls, found it and told, like, say we were like 13 told their brother and a brother's friends who would have been 15, which seemed like so much older when you're that age. And they were shouting, "Oh, there she is." Like, remember I was sat in a classroom and they opened the door. So it might have been like lunchtime or something. They opened the door and they went, "There she is, the lesbian." Yeah, you're lesbian.
No.
Yeah. So again,
That's
shame.
a lot. That's shame inducing for sure. I hate that.
And I've been kind of looking back as well. I think like Kylie Minogue, because she was in Neighbours, and Neighbours was a huge thing in the 80s in the UK. And Kylie was like my first real crush. And then she brought out her single, "I Should Be So Lucky." And the poster was like her lying on a bed. And I had that on the back of my bedroom door, and I would cry every night over her.
If it makes me feel any better, I had an entire wall that was a collage of women. Like, and this was through middle school, high school. Like, it was Catherine Zeta-Jones, it was Nicole Kidman, it was Kate Winslet. It was just like an entire wall. And this was even before I had, fully recognized, like I started the collage before I'd been like, yeah, I'm gay. Oh my gosh. And like occasionally there would be a dude, but it was always like Leo DiCaprio or Josh Hartnett or like men that I kind of model myself after now, like as an androgynous, lesbian. It's like, oh, I look exactly like them. That makes sense. I like to call, the ones that kind of look like me, like the more sort of androgynous, but like have this kind of haircut, like, I like to call it like, we're boy band lesbians. I think that's the correct, I think I coined that. And this can, apply to like, it's Leo DiCaprio, it's Josh Hartnett, it's Brendan Fraser and The Mummy, like same. It's the same kind of haircut. It's the same kind of, we are boy band lesbians.
I think it's so fascinating when you start, a lot of later in life lesbians unpicking, going back and seeing little signs and unpicking things. And yeah, it's so in your DNA from very early on. It's like the little seed is there. The roundabout moment for me as well is I came out properly to my dad, and then he told my mum, who thought it was just because I'm getting to an age where I'm probably going to have early menopause soon. And people in their 40s get strange ideas. That was her response. But then I waited 2 months to tell my 90-year-old nana. So think blunt, northern English nana, takes no nonsense. But it was really important for me to tell her. And we were sat in the kitchen. And I was so nervous, and I realized, oh, it's a full circle moment, because 30 years ago, I was sat in that living room, like 3 meters away, hearing the word gay for the first time. And then when I told her, it was like this massive weight off me. And she was like, oh, okay. And then a fucking neighbor came round. And I was like, I'll leave you to it. I walked out the house, but I felt amazing. I felt like I've never felt that high. Yeah. And I walked up to the top of the hill and just countryside. And I was like, oh, I feel so free. And then I went back down after the neighbor had left, and we just carried on chatting like it hadn't been brought up really. I'm sure she'll have had her opinions on it, but
right.
She loved me. So
I love the top of the hill moment. That's very cinematic.
To where I used to play as a child with my granddad, little Beck and stuff. And I was like, this is a full circle moment.
Yeah. I don't think I had any full circle moments in terms of my coming out, but mine was more so just like, hey, Mom, I think I like have some feelings for Nicole Kidman. Just letting you know. And she was like, okay, sweet. Yeah. That was it. I mean, I feel grateful that I didn't really have any traumatic, sort of blowback when it comes to, being in high school and I think I was like the only, there was like one out lesbian, me, and one out gay guy. And we didn't, and of course we went to homecoming together. Were you friends? Like, obviously we, yes. Yeah. Nobody really, we just didn't really have an outlet, right? Like we didn't really talk about it that much because there weren't really any other gay kids to sympathize. Right. So we were just kind of like, not to say we went back in the closet, but we just didn't really talk about it. I was like, I felt safe to talk about it with like my circle of best girlfriends, in high school and stuff. But yeah, there wasn't this presence of like bullying, or I didn't ever feel weird about it. I just felt like I can't really express this yet, like I didn't feel like I could explore it until, a few years later I got to New York City for college, and I was like, okay, maybe there's more here. maybe there's some opportunity.
Well, my first kiss with a woman was when I was 19 and I was at art school and she was from New York.
Oh, well, maybe we both know her.
Yeah, we're friends on Facebook.
Okay. Cool.
She's got kids now and married, obviously. But yeah, I remember we were at a party and I said to her, "Oh, if I was in the girls, I'd totally ask you out." And she just kissed me.
Hi. We love a bold queen.
And she had a koi carp tattoo on her lower back.
A what?
Koi carp, koi fish.
Oh, koi fish.
carp.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
like 2 fish.
Got it.
On her back because she used to play pool in the social room.
I see.
Leaning over a table, these big fish on her lower back.
Was that a big moment for you? Like, did that feel different than,
Yeah, and I think I felt a bit shame again because nothing really came of it. And I kind of pushed it away a bit. And then I was in relationships with men and stuff. But even at art school, the girls used to snog each other and be like, "Oh, this is so funny." And I'd be like, "Yeah."
Can you imagine? Yeah.
It's just a joke.
Yes.
Crying at night. But
Gosh, yeah.
I mean, I still feel abandonment when a single female friend starts a relationship with a man. For a new boyfriend, because I don't know if it's a lesbian thing that you kind of stay friends with people you've had a relationship with or a thing with.
It can be
when it's a straight friend and they have a new boyfriend and they just disappear. And I find as a single lesbian that they'll come back because they want to spend time with me, and then as soon as they start dating again, they're off. I still, as a fully grown adult, find that really fucking annoying and painful.
I really had a strong reaction. I remember when my best friend that I've had since I was 12 or 13, she told me she was getting married. I broke into a sweat. It was such a strong body reaction that I was like, "Oh, I'm losing her. This is the end." And I've never once felt, an attraction to my best friend. That's never, she's my sister. But still, there was that, it was heartbreaking in a way.
Did you read what kind of books did you read? Because I used to read the point horror books. They were teenage horror.
Okay.
And then Sweet Valley High, and then Nancy Drew as well. And I remember being very young, reading Nancy Drew and loving it, but getting so annoyed when Ned and Bert turned up.
Right.
I think Ned was Nancy's boyfriend. And I was like, what? Because she had Bess. Was it Tess or Bess? She had 2 best friends.
Bess, yeah.
It was Bess and somebody, because it was Ned and then Bert.
I want to reread these.
I know, I've got them upstairs. I'm like, they're really a little bit racist. Just
are they?
Yeah.
Good to know.
Okay, yeah, and she had a red convertible. I was like, that's so cool.
Yeah, I think Nancy Drew is definitely a Sapphic icon. We should probably talk about that because I loved Nancy Drew. I was always drawn to women in TV, film, literature that were doing things that typically were only assigned to men, growing up. Yeah. I always thought it was so badass. So Nancy Drew was a big one. I loved reading Nancy Drew. I also, I remember reading funny enough, any kind of story or film that had a book, Fried Green Tomatoes, for instance. I remember seeing Fried Green Tomatoes and saying I have to read that book because I think there's more here. So, right, with the Sapphic connection, that's...
that film was my big awakening. Also, watched at my nana's house in their living, watching that by myself somehow. Remember, sat on the floor watching it, and the bee scene just blew my little mind. I was probably 8 or 9, and just that feeling that this woman would do that for another woman.
This is very
way they look at each other, and you're oh my God.
It was very Sapphic and Shining Armor vibes.
Yeah. And just the whole close relationship. I was like, that's the relationship I want.
Yeah.
The best friend I want.
Yes. Yeah. And I think Mary Stuart Masterson is another thing we need to talk about because she was in not just 1, but 2 at least, films kind of in the 90s that were oh wow, she's really modeling this new sort of, it was, queer baiting or queer coded. wanted, because
Yeah.
she was so, in Some Kind of Wonderful and in Fried Green Tomatoes, like she was a lesbian. Like, come on, that's a lesbian if I've ever seen one. Like, you're not fooling anybody. But they couldn't say it, so they just sort of like made
She's
it
a tomboy.
Yeah, she's a tomboy. But oh my gosh, I would so love to talk to her. I have another podcast called Sapphic Panic, and the aim of that entire podcast is to talk to these women and to hear their experience of that. Being these sort of like sapphic icons without actually being overtly sapphic in the role. Great example.
Exactly. We'll manifest that to happen. You need to talk to her. So yeah, if you're listening, check out Sapphic Panic.
Yes,
or Sapphic Panic, as I like to call it. With this new podcast, we will be looking through lots of film, pop culture, music, books, mainly all our kind of childhood and teenage obsessions.
that makes sense now.
That totally makes sense now. And I wish for this podcast that the later in life lesbians use our podcast to, I hope it ignites something in them, and they remember certain things from their childhood or teenage years that like, oh my God, yes.
Yeah, I hope that too. And I also hope that maybe like the younger generation of lesbians can also learn about what came before them and what the experience was like before they came about, because they do have representation now, and they do have, we could still do much better, but there are characters and icons that are out, and like they have something to name, and they have, identities to like say, oh, that I feel that we didn't have that.
We did not.
And
have
so what
that.
was it like? Yeah. What was it like to sort of have to grasp for it? And, what were the films that were really kind of trailblazing, like, Gia or Bound, or, like, I think they deserve to have that education as well.
This is why I think it's interesting. Not only are we different nationalities, as it were, but we were coming from, I'm the later in life lesbian. You were always kind of out, never needed to come out. You knew who you were. And I think that's a really nice contrast, because we've ended up in the same place.
Right.
Lusting after older actresses.
Correct. And that's another thing we will dive into is why, like why Kate Blanchett, why Gillian Anderson, why Catherine Hahn, why, what is it about them?
Exactly. Yeah, so this is the pilot episode. So if you're listening from the future, hello. We do want you to send in questions for us. We'll gladly answer any questions that you have.
We love a good Q&A. I love talking about being gay. It's great.
We love it. We could talk for hours. We are going to talk for hours about it. So
yes,
you can email us. I've set us up an email. It's that'ssosapphic@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok. So you're the Alexi Melvin and I'm Jane Does Comedy on both of those platforms. And we do have an Instagram, a fresh new Instagram, which we'll collaborate with. And it's That's So Sapphic Pod. So we'll be putting images there from our future podcast episodes for you. But I'm excited.
Me too. Seems like it's the right time.
It's the time. The time is now.
The time is now.
People have been asking us to do more stuff together. So you're welcome.
Yes, the world is burning. So why not be super sapphic about it?
Exactly. Well, I think that's a good place to end our first ever episode.
Nice.
Thank you all for listening, and we're so excited for what we've got planned for you. So do subscribe, share, comment, get involved, email us. We want to hear from you.
Let us know what you want to see.
Yeah, let us know. We have got an extensive list of what we are going to cover. We can't with Gillian Anderson, definitely. Kate Blanchett.
Yes, we're on it, lesbians. We get it. Gillian Anderson.
The Mummy.
I have a whole. We could do probably like a 3-part series on Gillian Anderson and Kate Blanchett.
Will.
So we will.
We will. So thank you for listening to our first episode, and yeah, we'll talk to you very soon.
Ain't it wild how a power suit can ruin your life? Red hair, One stare, and suddenly you're rewatching X-Files every night. Jillian said, trust no man. Kate said, try women instead. She wasn't out, but my heart was in. Rachel with a sword, that was my origin. Ain't it strange how the canon forgot